Hi there guys, so for this trip I will be going to PortAventura, which I am really excited for. I'm of course in the wonderful Barcelona. This city is beautiful. Really like the look of Shambhala, that looks like a really good coaster. There's Red Force, I've got a ticket for Ferrari Land, so I can go on Red Force, tallest coaster in Europe. I've got a ticket to get on the bus fairly soon. Okay guys, so I had a bit of a faff with my tickets because they wouldn't initially work. I had to go to the help desk to go and sort that out, which is a bit annoying, but I'm in Ferrari Land now. I'm hoping to start things off with a bang with Red Force. Grand entrance to Ferrari Land. So tall. I have ridden on top through a dragster before, but somehow this looks a lot more menacing to me. Cattle pen queue lines. PortAventura is known for having a lot of them apparently. There's a single rider queue, that's good. So I just got off this crazy thing. That is god insane fast, 111 miles an hour. Towards the end of the launch, when it got really fast, I did feel a rattle. I was at the back, the very back actually. I was very lucky as a single rider to get the back first time. But it did feel a bit rough on that bit. But then when you went up the top hat, the start of the top hat, it did get smoother. I'm gonna go and try out the drop towers. They don't look super intense, but you know, I'll give them a go. Looks quite gentle actually. So I just got off the drop towers. They were alright, they were quite fun. They're about the same as Tango Ice Blast, that sort of thing. Not really anything super special. I think the funny thing that I find is people struggling with the S&S restraints because when you have to release them, you often have to push them down and then release. You can't just simply pull them back off once they've released the harnesses. So it's quite funny to see people struggling and then you just push it and it magically works. So I'm going to go to the Big Daddy Park now, PortAventura. Okay guys, so now I have actually entered PortAventura, the second park of the list. So I can see right in front of me, Furious Baco. That looks very good fun. Been told it's a little bit rough, but still quite intense, so I look forward to that. And over there, of course, is Shambhala, looking awesome. And then just beneath that, the B&M sit-down coaster, Dragon Khan. So I just got a Furious Baco. It was fun, definitely. I could definitely tell it was intimate because of the transitions they did, the switchbacks. That was really fun. And the launch was quite intense as well. The fact that they got the pre-theming, like these monkeys that have got into this vineyard, you have to escape basically. I'm not really sure what the theme is. It seems to be quite a loose theme. It's rough though, is the only thing. I did get an outer seat, and they're the old Intamin over-the-shoulder restraints, the kind of vesty sort of restraints you get on the Stealth and Rita. Apparently an inner seat is smoother than an outer seat though, but it was fun. I did enjoy it. This is worth a vlog section in itself. This area, just looking through there, is beautiful. It's wonderful. Dragon Khan and Shambhala appear like through the horizon. The greenery and shrubbery is absolutely beautiful. spread out in a similar way to Silver Star is, Europa Park. So I'm in the queue for Chamois B. I am in the single rider queue, so that means that I won't get to select my seat, but I don't think people in the regular queue here do get to select their seat. It was very similar in Phantasialand as well. They would direct you to a seat most of the time. I'm not sure, it can speed up operations, but I quite like to ride in the back generally, so we'll just see what I get. It's really nice, the trains. Round 2 on Shambhala. My third go on Shambhala. Fantastic coaster. There's El Diablo, Tren de la Mina. I just rode on Stampeder and Tomahawk. Tomahawk is of course like a family wooden coaster, so not really much to talk about there. And then there was Stampeder. Stampeder is a dueling coaster, which was quite fun, but I did think it was rough as well. Very, very similar to the Grand National actually in that sense. It was rough, but it had some good airtime on it as well. More floater, I think there was ejector. Some bits of flojector actually. Combination of the two. My favourite ride of the day so far has to be Shambhala. My favourite B&M Hyper. It's really good. So guys, I'm going for my second ride on Red Force. I'm dead excited now. So the queue's pretty dead actually, so I can maybe go on maybe 3 or 4 times if I'm lucky. So I look forward to it. That thing is crazy fast, it really is. It keeps going, launching. You think, when is it going to stop going faster and faster and faster? Till eventually it shoots you all the way up to the top. I'm going to go in for another ride on it, third ride, because the queue is very empty. As for the other rides, there are a few family type flat rides, family type coasters, but of course not really my thing. I might try and sneak in a credit if I can, if I have time after this next ride on Red Force. Hi, back again. So that's my third ride on Red Force. That's the thing. Sorry, I'm lost for words. That thing is so good. It's got the new Intamin track. It's got the 3-tube track. 1 moment of airtime, actually 2. The first moment, of course, being on the top hat when you go over the crest, eventually slow down, and then you go up a lip again, and that gives you a little bit of airtime. Front row people, because they're going so fast, they actually have to wear goggles to protect their face, which I think is quite funny. As we get nearer and nearer to it, you do really realise the absolute magnitude of this thing. Okay, coaster enthusiasts, you'll relate to me. I know it's weird, some 19-year-old on his own going into a queue holding a camera in his face whilst he goes on the kiddie ride, but it's for the creds. You must understand that, surely. Some of those laterals, though, really need some work. They just didn't hit depump vertices on it, and it's just like Pinfari all over again with some of that. So I'm now going on this weird flat ride tilty thing. It's not even for the credits anymore. Dragon Khan had a 50-minute queue, so what can I say? I ended up getting 4 rides on Red Force, and I don't regret it. So that is the end of Ferrari Land for me. It's a bit of a rip-off that they're 2 separate parks, even though they're owned by the same company. I think they should all just be 1 park, personally. It was worth getting the extra bit to go into Ferrari Land because Red Force was fantastic for me. So I'm now going to go back into PortAventura and see if I can get some final rides on some things there, including getting my first ride on Dragon Khan, which I've not been on yet. I've been queuing for nearly an hour now for Dragon Khan. It might be the last ride of the day, I might be able to get 1 more credit, we'll have to see. So I did manage to get my ride on Dragon Khan. It was a bit better than I expected. I enjoyed the Cobra Roar quite a lot, and one of the first dive loops, that was really good. Now I'm in queue for El Diablo Tren de la Mina. So yeah, see how that goes. Guys, I've been in a mad rush. Just got on the drop tower. And El Diablo Tren de la Mina, and still have time to go on Stampeder Haven't done the Lucid Azul, so I'm going on that one now. So, final ride of the night, so here we go. Display of fireworks. I think the operations could do some work. I found out Dragon Khan, the reason it's been running slow pretty much the entire day is because it's been running one train. Overall, I'm very impressed with the rides.